the gate and the gatekeepers. Welcome back, everybody. This is a continuation of a video I made after we talked about the hot rod, but I figured I'd just make another video so it didn't string it up too long. This is kind of the story and the symbolism behind the gate, and then I was going to talk about the two gatekeeper trucks. And the reason the video I made before I said was I get people every now and then that message and ask about those two trucks when we drive up through the gate and stuff, and a few people have asked about the gate as well. So figured I'd go over it a little bit with you and tell you a little bit about why it came about and what it means and what it is. So the gate, these posts here and these posts here is all scrap metal from the local scrapyard. So my good friend John, Acme Speed Shop, he helped me construct and design and build this whole entire idea. And John is an artist, a sign maker, a painter, a welder, a fabricator, jack of all trades. He's now retired and does, things like this for his friends for fun. It's, it wasn't for free or nothing like that. I didn't ask him to donate it or anything like that. We paid for everything, but it's just something he really enjoys doing. So we picked out all this metal at the scrapyard, John and I did, and basically we tried to pick similar pieces on both sides. Well, they're the same on both sides. We just had to cut them. So we picked out all the metal. We cut them all equally so they're symmetrical, and we put them at such a way here at this height that if we ever wanted to add an arch on the top, that we could. So the top of those posts are open, and you could sleeve in there and weld, and we could make an arch. Now the bottom of each one of those posts has holes drilled, so if they ever get snow or rain in them, it does drain out. John wanted to pour these concrete piers so we could set the posts and kind of have the gates sit down and be a little bit more flush and symmetrical. So Lucy has found the shade over here. So these concrete pads are, I believe they're 2 feet by 30 inches. And then there's a footer underneath these concrete pads that's 3 feet by 3 feet by, no, 3 feet by 4 feet by 3 feet down. So there's another one, and it's got rebar that goes up into this. So these things are like stout. I mean, stout. And this piece of metal here, this was all made and then we bolted this to it. This was new metal, this was old metal. This and the gate metal was all new, and we sprayed it with that stuff that like instantly rusts it so it looks old. And then it's got these pinned hinges that have a stainless steel solid bar inside with a greasable zerk, so they're super smooth. Just grease them like once a year. That's just some old barnwood. It actually dried and split. We're going to replace all that. We were just talking about that the other day, actually. And if you look at this, there's a couple things going on here, and I'll explain it. So these are mirror images, and they have a lot of symbolism. They're a little bit of a stretch, but if you look, do you see 2 American flags? Now they're not totally complete, it's just symbolic, but if you get the idea of what you're looking at, it should make sense. These panels here we did cut out on a plasma table. This is the 3 diamond logo from International from the 30s. So a little bit of International there, a little bit of America, a little bit of barnwood. Kind of cool, I don't like new stuff, so to me this is, right up my alley. It's rusty and it's old like everything else that's here. Not rotten, just surface rust. It's got, I hate the word patina, you guys know that, but it's got patina. That's what everybody would say. Anyway, had to make this wide enough for the semi trucks and trailers coming in and out of here too. So each one of those gates is 11 feet. This is 22 feet wide between the inner posts. So it's this is big. I believe when John and I figured the numbers, I think each one of these gates weighs about 280 pounds a piece. So not, not horrible, but definitely forklift type deal. We run a ghost control system. It's a push-pull type setup, and that's what we use for the, there you go, little plug. They don't sponsor me or anything like that. They should, but they don't, because their control system is seen in all my videos when we drive through the gates. So there's one on each side, and this is a pull, so it pulls the gates down this way and then closes them back, and then there's a locking latch in the center that's electronic. So when it closes, after a couple seconds, it locks and latches the center system together. So pretty cool. This is the solar setup here. So inside this, I'll show you guys. There's a battery in there. It's all insulated and everything. Of course, we rusted that too. And it goes in conduit to all the power, and it goes underground here. And because we have this lovely KB series 40, I think it's like a 46 or 47 KB dually water truck. We just ran the conduit underground, just trenched it over here. You can see it. It pops up in the bed right there. Excuse me. Comes up through the bed, and then there's a solar panel right there. And that's what charges the battery that runs those gates. Kind of cool. This is an old water truck that came from here. This is one of the, we call it the gatekeeper. It's one of the gatekeepers. This is a 46, 47, somewhere in there. Somebody in the comments can correct me, because I didn't ever get a title, and there's no, I don't even think there's a VIN plate on it. It was on a local ranch here, and the story goes that it was a water truck that they used back in the day when they would be farming hay and stuff like that. They'd pull this out in the field, and they would use this in case there was ever a fire. Long since retired, obviously, but believe it or not, she's a very rust-free old truck that has got great patina and colors and everything else. And we've got a solar light here that lights it up at night, so it's pretty cool. And as many of you know, I plan to retire back in Montana when my kids are out of high school on property there. And if I still have this, it will go with me, and it'll be the gatekeeper at that property. And I'm probably going to take these gates with me, because that's something special that my friend John and I made, and I don't think I'll leave those for the next owner. We'll probably unbolt them from the concrete pad, disassemble everything. That way someone else could bolt down posts there, and they could hang new gates, and it would be relatively simple for them. So anyway, the 1946-7 ish KB series water truck dually / solar battery charger. Now you can see the water tank on the back too. See, there's a big valve there. They used to fill it on the top, and then they had a hose out there, and these bolts, there was a motor that used to sit right there. So pretty cool. All right, let's go look at the other monstrosity gatekeeper. Ghost controls. You know my number. I've talked to you guys plenty of times. I'll tag them in the video, see if they see it. It's a pretty cool gate. Not their normal, this is not their normal customer clientele, an old rusty gate for a guy that has a bunch of old trucks in his yard, but hey, we think it's cool. All right, this, I don't even know where to start on this. So this popped up on, I want to say it was on Craigslist. Now, they never made a crew cab one of these, and as we get closer, you will see this has no business being a crew cab. And the gentleman that welded this truck together had a very cool vision, and he had great intentions. and he needed to hire somebody to do the welding for him because this was not his cup of tea. Now, the back of the cab and the front of the cab, that used to all be together, and it had a long bed. It's a 1955. I think it's an L series. I actually have the title and everything for this thing, which is crazy. So this truck and the KB series Gatekeeper, I do not have a title for that. I get people ask me, would you sell it? Well, yeah, if somebody really wanted it, but really all it's good for is yard art. It's got great sheet metal, and now if you needed sheet metal to finish a truck of this vintage, it does have great sheet metal. But so he he started to make a roof, and he started to make filler panels and section the door and did a section there and stitched it all together. Now the doors do open, like they actually are welded on enough that this is a suicide door, which is pretty cool, and it opens this way and that opens that way, and you know, there's the remnants of a seat in there and a couple other parts and pieces. The dash panel's there, the VIN plate's still there. I don't know where that floor came from because it matches. He must have got that from something else. And there's more of the floor right there. Anyway, like I said, it's got the original license plate, it's got the VIN tag, and it's got a title. Now, the license plate frame is hilarious. You guys read that? I think based on his Douglas County, I think is what that says, Hospital, Roseburg, Oregon. That's funny. Based on his license plate frame and his welding abilities, I think they kind of go hand in hand. I'll leave it at that. Anyway, it just sits here. It's a real, it's kind of a good marker when people drive up the driveway. They know that they're at the 406 garage. They know that you know, there's internationals here, and these two gatekeepers kind of let you know that you made it to the right place. So anyway, if somebody wanted this, yes, I would sell it. I'm just going to answer that right now so that everyone knows. It does have a title, it does have a VIN plate. I don't really want to sell it. I'm not actively selling it, but just because I know we're going to get it in the comments, if somebody wanted it, send us a message. We can talk about it. Same thing with the water truck. Water truck does not have a title. All right. So that's the story of the gate. That's the story of the gatekeepers. And kind of some of the stuff you see when you drive up here. A lot of people have asked, so I figured it was time to do it. What in the world? I find the strangest things on my property. Okay, if you've stuck around this long, make sure you hit the like button. Tell your friends, share the channel with your friends if you would. We just want to get more people to know about old internationals and old trucks. So thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.